Hello, hello. I'm so glad you're here today. Welcome to the show. I hope you're having a great week. In this episode, we're going to talk about that little voice in your head that says, I don't really want to set goals. Maybe this isn't you, but it's definitely been me in some moments of my life. And this conversation is all stemming from a talk that I had recently with a client this week when she sort of sheepishly confided in me and said, Steph, sometimes I don't really want to set goals because I'm afraid that if I don't reach my goal, I'll be deeply disappointed in myself. And I felt that at such a deep level. Have you ever felt that? Have you ever felt like, man, I don't want to set this goal because I'm afraid that I'm not going to get to it? Let's dig into that in this episode. So, this conversation is actually a product of her, this client, listening to the episode that I recently released about bodybuilding. I was describing my wife, Leanne's process around bodybuilding and the observations that I was having as I was witnessing her along the way. And one of the things that we talked about in that episode was how she had set many goals along her path to reaching her big goal, which was competing in bodybuilding shows this past summer. It's cool because this topic actually comes up a lot for people, this idea, setting big goals, and the resistance that we feel when we think about actually doing it. I mean, think about New Year's goals. You've got one camp that's all into it, and then you've got another camp that's like, screw that goal setting stuff. To my client's credit, she's very aware that she's afraid that she might not reach her goal and that she might feel really down about it. So she has great self-awareness. And I told her it's common. It's such a big part of the human experience because what I think we're talking about here is coming face to face with our fear of failure. I mean, how many times have we set a goal and then kind of let it slide or forgotten about it? How many times have we used the word intention instead of the word goal because it's a little more loose, a little less concrete? I've done that. Like, it's not going to matter if we don't reach our intentions, right? How many times have we said to ourselves, I'm not going to set goals. I'm not a goals person. I think that's dumb. Well, the research doesn't think it's dumb. The research will show you that people who are high performing, they set goals for themselves and they enjoy doing it. And they also, along the path to that big goal, set mini goals for themselves, like little milestones so they can track progress along the way. Now, if that sounds really boring to you and really rigid and structured and businesslike, join the club. I actually agree to some extent. In fact, there's a part of me that just doesn't really appeal to me, despite the fact that I would consider myself a goal-oriented person. There is a little rebellious part of my brain that says, F it to the goals. I just want to live a free life. However, I think we can deconstruct this and get more to the heart of the matter. People are often uncomfortable with goals because they're uncomfortable with the idea of failing at their goals. People are uncomfortable with goals because they're uncomfortable with the idea of failing at their goals. We hate failure. We have entire saboteurs in our mind devoted to minimizing our failures, like the perfectionist or the controller or the people pleaser. Humans are also very uncomfortable with the unknown. We don't typically like uncharted territory. The ego likes to feel safe and keep us safe. And to the ego, safe often equals same. So whenever you go out and try to do something new or bold or audacious, it kind of puts us in a tizzy mentally. And that's not comfortable. So a lot of this, I don't like goals stuff, it's really saying, I don't like being uncomfortable. I'm afraid of failing. And that's pretty understandable. The other thing that comes into play here is we just have a very underdeveloped tolerance to extremity right now in this world. For the most part, we as humans are the most comfortable we've ever been from an evolutionary standpoint. There's a lot of convenience and ease in our world. And as a result of that, people just don't have to push themselves to do hard things in the way that they used to. They don't have to. And our tolerance for extremity or tolerance for things that are hard or extreme has gone way down. Now, obviously, There are exceptions to the rule. You can look at extreme athletes, Olympic athletes. We just watched the Paris Olympics. People who are pushing the envelope in their industry. No matter what it is, you'll always have people doing that. But for the general majority of the population, there is a price we pay for our convenience, and that price is our reduced tolerance for extremity. We have a reduced tolerance for doing hard things. There's one more element to this that I've observed in working with people for so many years. Oftentimes when we're setting goals or thinking about big achievements that we want in our life, we take a really strong stance of hoping that it will happen. We say to ourselves, oh man, I really hope this is going to happen for me. And we don't actually decide to do the thing. We don't actually go all in and make the decision or dedicate ourselves to the process. We don't. We might wish and hope, but we don't actually decide to do it. Hoping and deciding, two totally different energies. When you're hopeful, you definitely feel the desire for something and you definitely have an intention to do it. And you're feeling pretty optimistic and positive that it will happen, but there's not always the follow through or action taken that you need to get to where you want to go. Now, on the other hand, deciding to do something, that's taking ownership. That's claiming it and making it yours. That's saying, I'm doing this thing even if it sucks or it's hard or I make mistakes or I fail. Do you see the difference between those two things? Being hopeful is great, but it often has us quitting or letting the goal go after the first couple of bumps in the road. We say to ourselves, oh, I was hoping it would work out, but obviously it wasn't meant to be, or life just got in the way. Being decisive and dedicated is saying, yeah, this is a real struggle right now, and I have no idea how I'm going to get there, but this is what I'm doing. So I have to figure it out. There's a boldness and courage that it takes to act in that energy, that decisive energy. So whether you are a goal person or not, I don't think it really matters as long as you know what it is you're really after. I do think it's important that we confront our fear of failure in this lifetime because whether we like it or not, we are all going to fail hundreds of times on this earth. And trust me, I don't like it. I hate to fail. It's been one of my greatest lessons. And I do think it's important that we work on our tolerance for extremity, doing hard things, tolerating doing hard things, because I know it directly correlates with our ability to be resilient and strong and capable. And we all want that. We all know life doesn't play favorites when it comes to challenges. There's always going to be hard stuff. So how do we prepare so that we can sail through the stuff a little better? And then finally, I think there's incredible power in knowing when and how to be decisive about something. There's a time for it. Being hopeful is one of the most beautiful medicines in the world. To have hope is to have a way through things. But sometimes you just have to decide to do the damn thing, come hell or high water. So this week, take a look at your goals. Do you have some fear of failure around them? Are you making them more intentions instead of goals? Are you saying you're not a goals person? Are you resisting the work that it might take to reach them? Have you decided that you're all in on your goals, or are you just kind of hoping? These are all good questions for all of us. So thank you for listening today and being here. I hope that this has you thinking about some of the ways that you're approaching your goals in your own life. I hope you have a great day. Bring that good energy to people. And as always, thank you for being ready to impact. Thanks for listening to Impact Ready. I hope today's episode inspired you to own your impact and recognize that you are powerful. By elevating our energy and awareness, we can create exponential change in this life. If you enjoyed today's insights, share them with a friend and subscribe to the show for more. I truly appreciate you. Thanks again for being here.